Hello, hello, hello there, my Aries collective sun, moon, rising sign. Welcome to your full moon to new moon next reading for March 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, cat mama. My cats are just insane today. And very, very happy to be reading for you today. If you're new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment as you so see fit, because I'm having a field day working for you all in this way from the comfort of my dining room. Yeah. A couple of things. Let's get down to business. This is a general read, so please take what resonates, leave what does not, right? It's just the easiest way to do this. And check your other signs. I'm keeping these quick because this is sort of like a clue, a tip, a hint reading about this full moon in Virgo and Mercury direct, which is a little weird considering Mercury rules Virgo, to new moon in Aries, which is your sign, right? Sun, moon, rising sign. So you might want to pay attention to some of the clues, tips, and hints that are going on for you in this read, in this collective. Cool. Just remember to breathe as we go. I'm pulling one card from each of 7 decks to get you sort of an outline, so like a mystery. You're going to follow along. And if you are interested, I just did a video and it's in the description box below, clarifying how I bless the decks, right? So what I do before I hit record, which is a lot of breathing and a lot of prayer and a lot of blessing, and I get kind of giggly in the video because I do pretty usually when I'm doing this. Cool. Let's dive in. Please breathe. The more you breathe, the more I breathe. The more the divine, well, it's always present, but we are available for it as it is always available to us. Finding that still point. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, one Caroline Myss archetype card. All the decks I read are in the description box below. At the bottom, please, my collective pantheons, a piece of your angelic, divine masculine, divine feminine, divine master, and divine higher self grace for this Aries collective sun, moon, rising sign, this full moon to new moon next, March 2020. Let's see what you got. Ooh, you got the prostitute archetype. Don't freak. Everybody has the prostitute archetype because it's part of the survival family of archetypes. Please check out the work of Caroline Myss, particularly Sacred Contracts. She is the author of the deck. This deck has separated the cards in a way into the shadow and the light, the negative and the positive, the lead and the gold, the toxic and the healing, so that you kind of know, particularly for a waning moon, the alchemy balance of this, because 3 atoms must be given up from lead to become gold, right? You think gold would have more atoms than lead because it's more valuable. But apparently those 3 extra atoms can kill you because you get lead in your blood system. It's a bad story, right? So let me read you the lead, the shadow, if you will, places material consideration and security above self-empowerment. So, you know, that is how we prostitute ourselves. We don't have faith in ourselves, so we sell out, right? So the prostitute archetype, you see, has very little to do with, like, being a hooker or a call girl or a call boy or a gigolo. I have nothing against sex workers. Knock yourselves out. Have a field day. Like, I get it. You know, as long as you can do it, do it. Particularly with the internet, internet porn the way it is. But when you get that there are people who stay in marriages because for the money, right? For the house, for the kids to an extent, I understand. But look, you really, it's a whole other conversation. Won't go there. So you kind of get, right, the shadow of that. The light is so brilliant. Accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. Caroline Myss said a while ago in a talk she did on intuition that misery is a form of intuition, right? So if you're really miserable in a job, in a relationship, in any situation, and your soul is really telling you, come on, empower yourself, let's move on, and you're like, well, but the benefits are good. That's prostitution. Well, but the house, and oh, it'd be too much. In other words, it's kind of like the prostitute is the guardian of the soul powers of faith, right? Faith versus comfort. Because of course it's uncomfortable, but guess what? You can live through discomfort, but you have to empower yourself, particularly if it's a decision that is particularly uncomfortable. I have found that as terrifying as any life decision is, as soon as you make the decision, whew, all of that drops, right? So it is a bit cliff jumpy, if you will, but that's an interesting power. Now, by the way, that might be your archetype. That might be somebody that you're dealing with this full moon to new moon next, or it could be a situation that's really putting you or anyone else in a real prostitute-y, I just made a word, prostitute-y situation. Let's ask the angels what they think about that, shall we? With the Healing with the Angels Oracle, please breathe. Ha, 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 ha. My angels, please, one card in clarity for this Aries collective. Sun, Moon, Rising signs for this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries, their sign. Please, my angels, broad overview. What do you see going on for them? Blessings. All right. So here's the thing about the card of blessings, or if you like, the healing angel of blessings. The deck is Healing with the Angels Oracle, is that things that you might not see as a blessing are. And in the quantum field, everything is happening for us, but for the development of our soul, not so much the comfort of the personality. So this might be a blessing that you see in hindsight, right? Remember, Mercury is going direct, so it might take a few days, right? It's got to get out of it. It's got to station, and then it's going to move forward. It's going to be in its shadow for a little bit. But there are blessings here for you that you may not be aware of. What I'm also getting here is the more that you can bless as you go, in other words, be a vehicle of blessing, like that video I did, how I bless the decks, right? How I say the prayer, angels, gods, masters, whoever, may this be blessed, this deck, this meal, this person, and then I breathe the blessings into me and send them out, right? So those blessings have to pass through me and my nervous system, my chakra system, my energy field, blessing me as it goes. Because we're all one anyway, right? The quantum field, E equals MC squared, unity consciousness, whatever you want to call it. Fifth dimensional awareness, fifth dimensional consciousness. So a blessed prostitute, right? That would speak more to the gold, the light side, right? So maybe you are really making your choices and your decisions, surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit, your soul, your truth, your integrity. Cool, cool. Now, we are going to ask the tarot decks. First, the Daughters of the Moon Tarot for the voices of the Divine Feminine, the Goddess, whatever you want to call it, Divine Yin, and the Mythic Tarot, Juliet Sharman Burke, for the Divine Masculine, the voices of the Gods. Cool, cool? Breathe. That felt good. Oh, my goddesses, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you. Please, just one card in clarity for this Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. For this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries, their sign, please. What see you, what say you? For this Aries collective. Oh, the Witch. Okay, the card of the Magician, but in this deck. The Witch. So this is Major Arcana, right? This is about you taking action of some kind. Now, it is technically the first card of the Major Arcana cycle, because the card of the Fool, which everyone thinks is the first because he's usually jumping off a cliff, is actually the 0. It's the gap between the old cycle and the new cycle. So this is initiatory, right? It's initiating or starting the cycle. So it might very well be, as I said with this card of blessings, bringing in the light of the blessing, channeling it down through, you can't really see it in the wand, which in this case is the element of air, which usually I use wands as fire, but that's okay. So that's the element of thought, the element of desire, creativity, transformation, fire, water, emotion in the cauldron, and earth, the pentacle that she's wearing, to channel all of that from inspiration into form, the process of creativity, to incarnate, to bring something into flesh. even if it's not literally flesh, right, into form. So there's something here about your participation here, at least from the point of view of the divine feminine, for you to really pay attention to your intuition, pay attention to more of your creativity in that way, to perhaps silently, or because you're an Aries, not so silently, bless things, right? That if something's tricky, if you are being challenged here through surviving without negotiating your spirit, then bring in your spirit. Use your power of intention. May this situation be blessed so I can do this with my integrity, so that I can do this with the guidance and the grace of my soul, so I can do this without lying. So you see what I mean? Without compromising who I am. So pre-pave it a little vibrationally with blessings. But you see, I am a witch, so I know so many different ways to do that, right? I can stir a cup of coffee and bless the world at the same time, and then drink the coffee and really enjoy it. Of course, now I want coffee. I always want coffee. Let's ask the gods, shall we? With the mythic tarot, the divine masculine. You know, when I say the divine masculine, the gods, that's half the universal energy, right? Same thing with the goddesses, the divine feminine. I just like them personified or deified or whatever. Breathe. My gods, please. One card in clarity for this Aries collective sun, moon, rising sign. This, oh, that was fast. This full moon in Virgo to new moon in Aries, their sign, with Mercury going direct and all of that. What say you that, my gods? You got the moon. You got Hecate, the goddess of witches, and the witch. Holy crap. Holy carp. Mercury retrograde. Holy carp. Definitely pay attention to your intuition, because though this can very much be seen as an active card, right? It's in the divine feminine position, which means kind of feel this, let this energy move through you. But in terms of your intellect, keep checking with your guidance and grace. If you are spiritually active, and I mean with some sort of spiritual practice, hand things over in prayer, through spell, right? Particularly if it's in your intuitive, like, I don't know what to do about this. Bless it, bless it, bless it. But in terms of the divine masculine energy pointing towards the moon, say that the mind might be a little foggy, right? The mind might not have all of the data it needs, but to turn inward, right? To go with your gut, to trust that. Particularly, how would you know if you're prostituting yourself? You get that feeling in your solar plex, like, this doesn't feel right. Tricky shit. Tricky shit that we're being asked to rely more upon our intuition, our yin, day by day, as the divine feminine is beginning to balance more and more the divine masculine, which is what we need to survive on this planet, etc. Yeah, study the Tao. That's why, you know, you hear divine masculine, divine feminine. It's very Western. Yang and yin, yin and yang in the East. It doesn't have as many body parts involved. Let's ask the Ascended Masters, though, through a Chuck Spezzano Love Pack card. I usually explain what the four suits are. We're not going to for brevity, so just breathe, you'll see. Plus, a lot of you know what this deck is about, because I've been reading it since I started doing these on YouTube. Here we go. My Ascended Masters, please, just one card in clarity from this Chuck Spezzano deck. A piece of luck, a piece of the problem, a piece of grace, or a piece of healing for this Aries collective sun, moon, rising sign for this full moon to new moon next March 2020. Self-worth. And that is a healing card. With the prostitute archetype, man, you do not have to sacrifice or sell yourself, because you are so close. If you look, we're all in processes of realizing, I love that word, making real for ourselves our self-worth. Because regardless of what you look like, your age, your gender preference, your weight, your height, your color, any of that stuff, you are a divine child at the core, just like everybody else. The Course in Miracles, which I am both a student and teacher of, says there is only one begotten Son of God, but it's all of us. It's unity consciousness. We are all divine. So what is your worth? Incalculable, not priceless, not worth nothing. Priceless. The entire universe, the entire quantum hologram, you are worthy of, and it is worthy of you. You are worth the world. Not work the world, but if you go see Work the World, enjoy. I'll get there someday. I really want to go see Work the World, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, girl, good God, girl, get a grip. Wow, so that really does make sense, and we're going to put that self-worth card right by that prostitute card with blessings. 2 more to go. I told you this was a quickie. So it'll be fun for you to check other signs, too. I don't want to do like I just did 12 1-hour almost readings, all of them. So let's ask your higher selves. The higher selves of all involved. It's a real high vibe here. The higher selves of all involved, please, just 1 card for this Aries collective sun, moon, rising sign for this full moon in Virgo to new moon next in Aries, their sign, Mercury going direct and all of that, please. What is the whisper of love from the Whisper of Love Oracle, the higher selves of these Aries sun, moon, rising signs? What is your higher self guidance and grace for them? I love these. Sometimes they just come right out and say it. Yeah, and they are. Express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love for them. There you go. So there is something very definitely yang expression, right? It's not yin, it's yang. It's divine masculine. And what's going on in your divine masculine? The moon. So the mind may not say now is a good time. It might be kind of reflecting back and say, well, if you're feeling the love and you know, you want to express it through gift somehow, remember that can be a small token. Don't go overboard. Like, don't send 12 dozen roses. It's 144 roses. It's a lot of roses, right? It's a lot of vase. Girl, you got a lot of vase doing that. So kind of feel that out. Perhaps the when as well as the what, right? The why is because, you know, you want to express your love. And remember, that's not always romantic. And the more you're kind of building up that sense of self-worth, you find in there the confidence of like, but this feels worth it. It's like, even if it just makes me feel better, I hope it makes them feel better. But let's do it in a way that I'm not compromised. Like, I'm not giving... expressing love through gifts in order to get something, right? I'm not going to compromise my spirit and my soul. I am rather going to express it. And by the way, pushing that down and denying it would be compromising your soul and your spirit because, well, I don't know. What if they? Oh, and also keep in mind that a gift with a hook in it or an expectation of return is called bait, all right? So be clear about that. Because our last card down, of course, if you know my channel, you know I'm going to give you a healing mantra deck card from the Matt Kahn's brilliance that this deck is. Just a little something to repeat in your mind to kind of give you some guidance and grace through this full moon to new moon next. Breathe with me, please. As we tune to the Ascended Masters, please, my Ascended Masters, it feels so nice. Please, just 1 card in clarity, the perfect healing mantra for this Aries collective sun, moon, rising sign for this full moon in Virgo, Mercury retrograde to new moon next in Aries. My beloved Masters, please, just 1 card in clarity. Who do we got here? Honoring adversity, and the mantra is, a fire reveals a path of renewed direction once the burning is complete. Now think about that, right? Everything may seem like it's on fire, right? But that's transformation. So you might not know what to do right now, but a fire reveals a path of renewed direction. Well, I don't know. A fire reveals a path of renewed direction once the burning is complete. And I'm going to read that one for you, honoring adversity. I may not do that in every single reading that I do because I'm trying to keep them brief. But that one sounds scary enough or intense enough that I figure why not. When adversity is honored, life is appreciated as oscillating cycles of deterioration and renewal. Deterioration is the natural process of new things becoming old, while renewal is the process of old things becoming new. As you learn to honor these 2 interconnected processes, just as naturally as the changing of seasons, or moon cycles, you are able to embrace adversity. It is not a punishment, but a gift of renewal birthed out of the ashes of erosion. So it's about rising from ashes. And it's a lot of fire element. You're a fire sign. This mantra is ideal for processing unforeseen changes. Could be. Hence all of that obfuscation of the moon in the divine masculine, overcoming superstitious belief, which is really helpful, and surrendering the ego. So, altogether, we've got the prostitute archetype here, a survival archetype that everybody has about negotiating your self-esteem, your sense of what? Self-worth for comfort or not. It's like, no, that yes, this makes me uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm not going to compromise who I am. I am worth all of this, because the divine feminine is saying that you've got this power of manifestation, of creativity, of taking an inspiration, bringing it down into form, but will you prostitute it? Will you prostitute your power or what you're trying to manifest to make others comfortable? Right? There's one thing of doing it as a service if something's harsh, but if it's really about you feel discomfort because they feel discomfort because you're stepping into your power, that's the time to really go into the light here. And the mind, the divine masculine, may not be, in terms of the intellect, the logic, what has gone before, might not be the best guide. That might be a little foggy, fuzzy, as the moon does tend to do, blending things together. So it refers you back to your process of creativity here. And then, what's the angel talking about here? Blessings, that what you're really bringing through is a blessing for you and for all of life. But remember, it has to come through you first, even as this card of the witch indicates. The light comes through you. Maybe this creativity, this thing that you want to do that may be challenging for you, is a blessing, but you may not see how it's a blessing yet, or you may hope it is. Don't compromise on that, but you can express love through gifts. And remember, a gift can be a text, a gift can be a thank you, a gift can be an I'm sorry, right? May make you uncomfortable in the process, but do not negotiate that soul power away. Your worth, right? Self-worth. Come here. You are worth the world. So you can express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love for them. And of course, if you've been dealing with adversity, a fire reveals a path of renewed direction once the burning is complete. So maybe you have to burn something down. Maybe there, so to speak. Maybe there is a situation in your life that you do have to kind of make some changes here, but get that if you initiate this, that there's absolutely a blessing here, that the mind may go back and forth, not really sure logically what to do, but it's all about your self-worth. That really, it will eventually be a gift to everyone else, but in the meantime, you can say to somebody, look, I really need to do this. I just want you to know I care about you, even if it's just a message, a text, a phone call, a hug. Because this honoring of adversity, that this is happening for you. It's just the cycle. And of course, we are talking about the waning moon, full moon to new moon. So of course, something is going to dissolve, break down, so that you can begin again at new moon in your own sign. Does make sense. So there you have it, my Aries collective sun, moon, rising sign. The first of the series. I'm glad it was you. It had to be you. It had to be you. Thank you so much for watching. May you be blessed for this full moon to new moon next March 2020. But for now, my darlings, my rams, hail, farewell, and blessed be.